Hey, what's up, Liam? Another cold winter day in Southern California. Obviously, try to start every day with gratitudes, and just if I try to make that my pattern, my rhythm, again just default jumping off point. And I'm so grateful that we have this kind of weather, clear blue skies. We live a little bit inland of the beach, so growing up is always that June gloom, which seemed to span like 9 months. Not really just a couple of summer months, but it's usually clear blue skies here, and it gets a little warmer, it gets a little cooler. But I was grateful to be in the sun, sitting out here right now and making this video. Here inside taking a nap, and just slowly trying to get back to whatever the fuck that's gonna look like, life. It's like, it's just a lot, obviously, because we have these expectations and not dreams, but it's just gonna be this way. And then when that gets, small things get in the way, or big things like this get in the way, it rattles us, and just that expectation is, I'm not gonna say it's dangerous. It's just you just need to be aware of it. You know what I mean? Tomorrow's not promised. None of this shit in the future's promised. Our plans, we've got to stay resilient from a, flexibility standpoint, and be able to pivot and not get too hung up with change. That's I think a part of the resiliency thing is being able to pivot like that and being flexible and adapting. Not being so, rigid and set in our ways where, obviously you can be flexible and be able to pivot and, still be heartbroken. You know what I mean? It's not to say that we can't be both, right? We can be, there's a quote to that effect where it's a man can be strong and loving, or, it's the warrior in the garden shit, right? It's that whole dichotomy and the balance. We could be both, and I think we should be both. I think that we, to be the most well-rounded, one of the personal development talks that I gave was about the wheel of life, and they have each of these little pies of the wheel, right? It's let's just say it's mind, body, soul, or family, fitness, finances, career, hobby. Each of those is a slice of this wheel. If you're really good in one area but then really weak in another, when that wheel rolls down the road, it's gonna be, jarring, right? We want to be as well-rounded in each of those areas as possible, so that as that wheel goes down, quote-unquote, road of life, it's very smooth, right? So the more balanced we can be, the more whole that wheel is. And that's another thing that I think is when they talk about holy people, not holy from a spiritual sense, but whole, they're not missing anything inside. And I think kind of that analogy of that wheel, if that wheel's whole, I don't know, I just think that there's something to that. But literally just sitting here just staring at these roses right now, and how beautiful they are. Shit like that. Mommy loved roses. She loved them so much, she wanted them planted all over in the backyard. Fuck, dude. So absolutely fucked. Just this pain is so incredible. So incredible, man. Don't forget to breathe. Breathe through the pain, my man. Can't really breathe because my fucking nose is all stopped up, but that's one thing that I've been doing is like when it washes over me like that, just stop for a second and just be in that moment. And just be in the moment, man. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Just acknowledge it. Like, I love seeing these beautiful roses and some white ones over here and some red ones right next to it. And this beautiful backyard that mommy built and designed. She had such good taste, man. And she had such a vision, and she was just so talented. And fuck. I used to hate like having, like if she had a long day at work, I wasn't gonna get home till late at night. I was like, fuck. Like, that's how much I loved being around her and spending time with her. Even on my surf trips, if I was gone for like 2 or 3 weeks, it was like, like I'm frothing because the waves are amazing, but like missing her was so bad. Yeah. So I've got to go through this. I'm going through it. I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? This is the path that God put in front of me. So whatever path we get dealt us, man, the Bible gives us the pinnacle and the example with Jesus obviously coming here, serving others, trying to be as solid as possible, and then dying the most horrific death ever. And he walked the path that was put in front of us, or put in front of him, for others. He set the example. And then obviously the book of Job. Why all this shit happens, we don't know the why. We just know how we're supposed to act regardless of the season. Right now, I'm going through a winter. And even in the winter, there's, again, if the weather was snowing and whatever, there's beautiful shit of the cold too, There's beautiful aspects of the snow and the whiteout and the sound, if you focus on that. It's obviously not easy to do, and there's a lot of other shit that goes along with it. But as long as we know in our heads, like, hey, like, when we're feeling like this, if we have that in our head and we can just trip that auto-suggestion just to drip it, boom, like, we don't think it's just a response, it'll keep us, again, that whole seesaw, or just, it'll tip the momentum back to the positive. Because I feel like we instinctively, not necessarily human nature, whatever, but I think the natural tendency is to tip the scale to the negative. So if we don't do anything, obviously we're just going to keep going negative, and then the momentum's going to build. But if we have these little things that we can tip the scale to the positive, and we just keep tipping it, again, it's just a constant battle, right? And just to have that expectation, and it's not even like look at it as a battle. It's just like, it's just how we're operating, right? This is what we do. When you wake up, go, and then run in that day. Head hits the pillow, that you've done as best you can, and you can sleep soundly. Your conscience is solid. You're going to get a good night's sleep. So we're just going to keep doing this thing, man. Through all the pain, we're going to live. We're going to live well. For all of the pain, we're going to live equally well. The balance of opposites. We're going to honor mommy in everything that we do. She was a woman of impeccable character. Spirit was beautiful. She was just so loving. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to love through the pain. I love you so much, buddy.